Well, hello people, and welcome back to an episode of City Showcase. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we're taking a look at the city of North Bay by Supercamp, a 307,000 population city on the Barrier Island map from the base game. Quite the sprawl to get stuck into here. Don't forget, if you want your work featured in the next episode, fill out the link to the Google form in the video description. Otherwise, let's get stuck into this one, shall we? So this is a big old city here we have to explore. And then we have some outer-lying farmland to start things off with. And I really like the design here. It actually reminds me a lot of Project Skylines. A lot of the different size fields and whatnot. But we do have some vanilla farming going on. Unfortunately, this is just the way it grows. The same with the oil as well. It's just a bit silly, isn't it? It'll forever be my biggest criticism of these little industries. Maybe one day it'll be patched. But really nice field configurations nonetheless. We've also got some customized fields here as well. Rows of flower bushes. Little palm plantation going on here as well. And doesn't that have wonderful views across a pretty massive skyline all the way from the right past the Golden Gate Bridge into the city centre over there. Really nice views, great skyline. And all this farmland goes for miles. Let's have a look at the production chain. See what's going on. We're at absolute max budget, 1.4 million an hour in the simulation. And the production chain is mostly in surplus, with the material goods being all in surplus. This is very hard to achieve, by the way. This is very hard to achieve, so good job on that. Especially with textiles and convenience food. So, cool, yeah, the simulation works here. That's nice to see. Farmland continues all the way through this space before we come into a bit of an industrial complex over here. Got lots of industry and garbage processing, water treatment here too. Rail yard tucked into the corner. We'll catch the outer line towns before we head deeper into the metropolis. Bridges going on here, little frontage road against the highway too. A really nice interchange, look at this. Fun little configuration, isn't it? Even goes into a trumpet on the actual highway as well. That's some really nice network developments there. I like how you've put that together. Even how this little secondary bridge also comes over that bottom road too. With some lane maths also present. Very nice. Just built an interchange like this in Yokeley this week actually. Very nice indeed. Next to this we have some of the leisure venues uniques. At the Shard Arena. Big asset this one, isn't it? It's very nice. Then we start coming into some plopped European housing. Car park and even some... These motels, what are you? You're actually residential. What pack are you from? Japanese. Doesn't that make an amazing motel? I'll have to remember that one for my own builds. Works great in a repeated pattern, doesn't it? Also gives off a bit of a barracks vibe too. And then more repeated patterns with the European stuff over here. This is residential again. Yeah, high density res. With suburbia, pitches, and everything around it that blends back into the farm space. Occupies all these, nothing too gridded. Some nice UK housing knocking about here. Very nice. It's always nice to see the low density residential not boxed in, isn't it? Not a bad job here really, especially on the street level with the UK stuff on these little curvy roads. I like that. We'll head into where we can see some of the piers for the first time. Let's also continue up here as well on these rich luxury waterfront properties with their own private piers. Very nice and pretty incredible views again from this little peninsula, isn't there? Very nice, really wide city, isn't it? This is such a huge map, the Barrier Island. So it kind of feels like you're almost getting two maps in one, doesn't it? You get the actual Barrier Island itself, which is enormous. And then all the mainland as well. Big map, this one. More interchanges here. This looks like one of the plopped, just sort of simple off-ramp systems, isn't it, I think? And then much more sprawl through here. Huge mix of different housing styles going on as well. Plot the Grobles was listed as a used mod on the submission. It's a serious low density sprawl, isn't it? Spreading all the way across here. Very nice indeed. Before we arrive at this massive interchange network that comes off the Golden Gate Bridge, right through the middle of the city here, slicing all this hillside suburbia in half as well. Get a nice sense of the rise in the terrain there, don't you? Start a little bit lower. But nice that everything's been terraformed. Use the terrain, especially with the roads too. A really fun interchange going on here. What's happening? So we've got some tunnels under the roundabout. It's a cool way to do it. Of course, you could just have the roads go directly underneath, but then you'd lose the solid center of the roundabout. But still very nice. Really nicely configured too with those slip lanes. Great example of CS2's highway road tools playing in there, isn't there? Very nice. Even a little pathway there too, which they are using. Not interesting. But a nice traffic flow on it regardless. And then this comes into a massive, huge beast over here. Kind of a half cloverleaf with all different ramps and slip lanes. Looping under and over one another into the Golden Gate Bridge. Which is just massive, isn't it? Absolutely dominates the map, that, doesn't it? Wonderful sightline to your skyline though. That's a great little natural framing by the bridge there, isn't it? Headed back into this sprawl, which sits all underneath the bottom of the bridge back towards those highways. We'll start to approach a bit of European density as we come up to the Technical University. Now let's get in these streets here, shall we? So certainly can tell where the plopping's been happening here, right? All these fused blocks of European stuff. Right over here as well. Nice use of the school in amongst all the zonings. Pretty fun area, that. Different mix of styles too. You got some modern glass towers in. All of which comes up to a massive industrial port with landfill. There's a server farm here too. Lots of zoning. The electronics or the pharmaceutical factory, that one is it, I think. Which one is this? Switch on, neither. Just the electrics on. And then we have the cargo port here. A bit of surface work would have been nice here. I think you could definitely bring these out just to flesh out the concrete port aesthetic. And then a very nice use of the French water tower as a lighthouse, which is pretty much how everyone wants to use this, isn't it? it's essentially a lighthouse. But a wonderful view there to the skyline again, isn't it? Gets better as you get closer. Let's follow the coastline down from the ports. Back into huge sprawl. You can really see where the 307,000 population comes from, right? There's just tons of low density everywhere. Little diverging diamond set up here out the port as well, which is getting a nice bit of use. Flows down into the arterial system. We'll have a little Stonehenge memorial in the roundabout. Again, another nicely designed roundabout. Tasteful slip lanes coming off here. Roundabout police might get you for that little alleyway there, but that's okay. And it's huge sprawl. Up to the post sorting facility we saw earlier. By these highway interchanges with lots more industry. Oh, and one of the train bridges is also here as well. Isn't that nice? Haven't really seen this too much in City Showcases yet, these new bridges. But that's a really nice one. Oh, the other one's over there as well. God, isn't that big? Holy crap. That is a beast, isn't it? That reminds me very much of that bridge. I'm pretty sure it's in Tokyo, isn't it? Or at least Japan. Where it has a very steep incline. I think it's more of a camera trick. With kind of like a... I don't know the camera terminology. Editing, I will leave a picture up, I'm sure. But that's a real gateway into the bay, isn't it? Fun way to use that bridge. I don't think the gradient police will be triggered for you for that. There's definitely bridges that are this steep in the real world. But really fun, right? All your bay framed by these enormous bits of infrastructure. Very cool. This is a super busy shipping lane as well, isn't it? Holy smokes. Really big. Holy crap. Anyway, let's get back to where we were. To the post sorting facility here. And the bridges. Tons more hillside suburbia for this, right? Look at that. Isn't that a view? That is very, very nice. Definitely one of the better places to live here, isn't it, on this hillside? Probably from this garden in particular. Stunning. I always enjoy kind of massive suburban sprawl. I think it's quite a realistic visual. And you've done a good job of it here. Especially up some pretty mad terrain. Up toward a telecoms tower that sits right upon the top of it. I think down here we've just got more sparse outer lying country residential. We do, don't we? With some wind turbines also present. With the prison. And more housing out this way. So back to these tower blocks right by the... It's just metro or rail? Rail, isn't it? It's a really nice integration there, how you've brought all this in. Real police should be okay with this, I think. Can't see them being triggered by that. And more really fun road network designs too. This is people coming into the train cargo station, isn't it? That kind of boxes off this first half of the city. There's tons there, mostly your low density suburbia, but some farms and service buildings also present. I also missed the castle. Goodness gracious, how could I do that? Turning back to our little European area here, which is quite a nice visual here, isn't it? Here be little European roundabouts, old European buildings, and the castle again here on the end of this little peninsula. Very nice. Nice little asset, that one. Let's get into the city centre, shall we? This is kind of the main one. I guess there is also a city centre on the barrier island as well we'll get to. But let's head down the highways and see some nice assets. You can definitely tell a lot of the growables has been used, right? Got nicer corner assets where you'd expect them rather than relying on the zoning. We've also got metro running alongside here too, which comes out from the underground system by that highway interchange. From here, got lots of bridges passing over the roundabouts. Let's get onto this waterfront as well. Row homes, more towers as well. This is quite an interesting little configuration here, isn't it? We have some of the urban promenade stuff mixed in with Chinese high density. It's quite a nice little view, that, isn't it? I do love tower blocks. They're such an iconic part of the city. You can see some more over there as well, just by the Golden Gate Bridge. Check those out. Through this way, just more masses of outer-lying sprawl with a pretty busy train station. Only a small one out here, though. I like what you did with the parking road out the front of the station, though. It almost kind of extends the asset itself, that, doesn't it? Massively effective, those parking roads. They made a huge difference to the game for me. More vast, endless, never-ending low-density sprawl. It's everywhere, isn't it? Really have created the sprawl sense. Everywhere you look, you just see all those roofs, all those little homes. And this is a really nice street as well, coming up the hill. Lovely stuff. From here, more residential with some more tower blocks by the highway interchange that drops us on the river that we checked out by the wind farms earlier. And then more sprawl over here as more medium density kicks in. Look at all the networks cutting through as well. I love how the train's integrated into the city. Very nicely done. Schools here. This is a big old developed Southwest Elementary, isn't it? Yeah, it's got 6 or 5 different upgrades on it. Nice way of piecing that together, actually. And then we'll come into one of the city centres, at least, which is pretty impressive here, isn't it? With the metro, you could have actually mounted that on the road rather than having the throw-out curve in it. You could just stack it on the road there. Unless you wanted that specific visual, of course. And some waterfront buildings here, playing with some northeast. Let's get a little sense of the downtown waterfront, shall we? Lots of different buildings in here. Big uniques as well. Colossal Tower. Stylus Tower all being used here. Nice waterfront, really nice skyline. We have the plaza down here, which is surrounded by all these massive towers. Oh, I even love you can see the clock there on one of the northeast assets through the skyline. That's very nice. But tons of towers, right? Great skyline inspiration here. Chinese high density making a pretty big impact on the skyline too. Got metro through here with absolutely tons of car parking. This looks like pretty sure it's Houston in the 70s, isn't it? It's just 90% car parks. We've shown that image before on a video, I'm sure. But very dense, lots of towers all through here. Very nice. Well, waterfront action. It bends all the way around the river into the observation tower with one of the Chinese libraries, is it? Oh no, that's the central station. It's the central station, of course, with all the train lines out the back of it. And that sits at the front of the skyline here. With a very compact little stack interchange also present in the downtown, and a ferry harbour also as part of the waterfront too. So that's one of the city centres here. It's not too big. There's another one over there. We can see a little spike of density on Barrier Island too. Heading out of here, across the other side of the river, we can see lots more industry. There's more farms out here too. Metro Yard is also tucked in this space. Got tons of industry. More fun little slip lane configurations here too. Lovely layering. Really love how the train Just has its own slice through the middle of the city, all the way out as well, back to the other side of the map we've seen so far. Southwest Hospital with tons of row homes, a little bit more high density here too. Lots of car parking. The bronze statue. Present on the waterfront before we merge back into more vast amounts of low density residential. Very fun. There's a port over there as well we'll get to on Barrier Island. Before we arrive, that's another train bridge. Doubled up with a road bridge too. Very nice here. See a train going across if we like. Gradient Police might come after you for that. They might do. It goes all the way down there. Into some more industry. More rail and train yards out here as well. We have this real dense explosion of... What are you? Southwest residential. All on this hillside. Really tightly laid in that against the beach, isn't it? I do love the Southwest stuff. Probably my favourite pack of the regions that released, I think. Sand right up to the back of these homes. Of course, looking out onto the sea. And a lot of shipping traffic as well. Look at that bridge from here. That's such a massive, dominant bit of the skyline, isn't it? It's probably the best way of seeing that bridge used so far, actually. With this huge southwest waterfront going all the way down the beach. Isn't that awesome? Possibly the most amount of low-density residential we've seen on City Showcase. Over here we can see the chemical plant and the fuel plant together. Always a great combination of assets, these. And that then comes into a big old port infrastructure. Again, I think some services here would have been quite nice. Just sketch them out to get rid of the grass, basically, in a port. But each to their own, of course. And I imagine this is what's drawing all your ship traffic in, isn't it? Down here, we'll pass by some low-density or high-density towers just by the highway. Another little interchange here, too, little single-point urban number, I think, isn't it? Suppose there. And then I really love all this residential in amongst these little waterways. This is very nice. Okay, with more views and more private piers. Out to the skyline on the opposite side of the water. Great stuff, that, isn't it? Really enjoying the slight lines across the bay here. And then all these guys live in the shadow of this massive bridge. Although I have just realised this one's got train underneath it, hasn't it? Yeah, the train police definitely won't. They definitely won't let you get away with that one. Maybe it's fine though, maybe it's pulled up. And look at this, right? Such a dominant feature of the map. There's some nice rock walls and industry directly underneath the bridge, which is a nice way to use it. Really fun. We come into more industry here. With 2 more factories and plenty of farm and industry zone to prop up that production chain we saw at the start. Another kind of gas port here, or at least the refinery port. Oh, look at that. Isn't that fun? I've never seen this before. So what are we playing with here? Is this just a massive one-way loop? The submitter did actually say he wants my advice on how to fix the traffic, but then checking on the submission, it did actually say the traffic is fixed now on Paradox mods. So I'm guessing this was your fix for it, wasn't it? There's some little shed detailing down here as well. But that's the first time I've ever seen that configuration. But it is working for the most part. Of course, they're very slow where they turn in. But it's just an extremely busy port, isn't it? Really is. Over here, lots more port infrastructure, a nice little man-made pier out here as well, with some of the recycling centre expansions on there as well. And some gas silos at the same time. With the gas power plant, and some plopped detail in here against the edge. Nice little industrial waterfront here. Lots of different assets going on. I do love the oil refinery, probably my favourite of the factories. This then bleeds into more low density on the beach, but I'm keen to get across the Golden Gate Bridge as we enter this bit of the city. So back from all this outer lying sprawl here, we'll head across the bridge onto these towers, which is a really cool position there, isn't it, right? The UK high density stuff, right by a main road bridge. That's a very cool little sight line, isn't it? That one right there. Now the bridge road itself, that shouldn't annoy the bridge police, I don't think. That's quite nice. Even the foundations of the bridge, the actual concrete pillars where the suspension cables are tethered to are nicely integrated into the build as well. Very nice. Big school district here, and another leisure venues building. Which one is this? That's the sports park complex, of course. With many more of them. We've got the lecture hall as well from the modern university. Another ferry port, car parking, and tons more industry. All directly off the highway here. Yeah, I thought that would have backed up with traffic actually, especially with such a busy road, but it's alright, isn't it? It's not really backing up at all. Then we have these big arterial systems heading off into the rest of Barrier Island. Let's get in here, shall we? Got the condos been repeated here. That's a unique building, isn't it? Yeah, Corundum condos. And some more really fun layering here as well. Where's this road going? So this is your arterial up to the fuel plant. Wait, is it 2 fuel plants? There is, yeah, you duplicated, haven't you? It's here twice. I was like, I thought that was further away. No, there is 2 of them. More fun little interchange systems here as well. I'm obviously a fan of your kind of curvy looped on and off ramps, aren't you? Seeing them a few places now. Let's get into this other little city centre. We see we've got a big elevated road right above this commercial. More towers down here as well. Let's get on this main street, shall we? Nice corner units here, there as well. I always appreciate when someone respects a corner. Adds a lot, I think. And all this street down here. Not a single bit of missing texture. All blends really nicely together, doesn't it? Got trams moving down here, little pedestrian overpass through the city centre too. Nice little crawl down in height here as well from the main centre. Really like this road with the tram and the median all the way through, especially across the roundabouts. Really where CS2 shines with its network tools, isn't it? I do like the road hierarchy. Big junction here as well. Big roads going off down to each end of the coast. And then lots more unique buildings. What are we playing with here? Leto Electronics, Modern Telecoms building. Very nice. Nice, which ones are these? Southwest Apartments, those ones. Nice buildings, aren't they? The tram's not super busy, I don't think. No one got off there anyway. Nice. That's a really nice main street through that city centre, isn't it? Tons of different turning lanes, and let's look how often the road changes. You got 7-lane asymmetrical here. And then it goes down to that again, then down to the 2-lane tram road. It's a real kind of switch up sort of road system, isn't it? It's a really nice view, especially when you catch the other skyline through the gaps there, right? So dense. And there's some big European vibes again through here. Let's get down the street level. This is where Plot the Gribbles comes in clutch, doesn't it? On these European areas, because you can get the perfect European blocks. This is a very nice example of it. Really nice. Love the parking roads here too. Bit of angled parking. Love that you can see into the school district there as well, just across the hedge. We get actually here. It's a really little realistic street corner there, isn't it? If we can just take a moment to appreciate all the little angles and buildings there. Really like that. It's nice to see people using the European zoning. I'm particularly guilty myself of always gravitating usually toward North American infrastructure for my cities. So I appreciate the European stuff when it comes up. Then tons of row homes. Big old medium density row home district with this elevated arterial we saw a moment ago. And coming out here, that goes to an outside connection. Yes, it does. Some ramps off of this elevated road as well. It's a really nice compact way of integrating an interchange into a pretty dense area, that, isn't it? Little elevated arterial system like this. Very nice. More cool buildings, sort of tower blocks. All in these little spaces, car parking where there's empty space. Yeah, really fun little city centre. I think I actually prefer this almost mid-rise town centre actually. What building is that one there? Twain Tower, isn't that wonderful? Yeah, I really like this little mid-rise bit. This is super nice. Really nicely put together, even here too. Car parking in between all the low density, well, not low density, low rent houses. Really nice mid-rise. That's definitely my favourite bit of the city so far. Little park cafe roundabout in the middle of a roundabout. Very nice placement. For our coastline, joins us back over near the Golden Gate Bridge. And the endless, ceaseless almost, low density southwest stuff kicks back in. A bit more waterfront here. Some nice southwest apartments with their own parking. Little custom park, that's cute. Nice way to use those Chinese props there. With some more custom marina detailing, also at the foot of the apartments. Which is a really nice visual, that, isn't it? You can definitely draw out more custom marinas with some mods on those little pier networks we got a few updates ago. Pairs nicely with those southwest waterfront buildings as well, doesn't it? Through here, the medium density kicks back in with row housing before we join the arterial, where there's more commercial. And then this sprawl really kind of maps out the last southern half of the island here, doesn't it, if we get a bit of a larger view. Joining the beach again, it's all southwest low density here. There's cut and fill. Some of the architect unique mansions also occupying wonderful waterfront space with an appropriate sound barrier. And then all this continues to wind all the way down the coast before the outside connection kicks in over there as well. Some early disaster warning systems, a lot of taxis in this specific place. Guessing they're going to the train station, are they? Looks like it. With some, there's a college out here, is it? It is indeed. With a factory and then some wider service buildings and the geology building as well. Yeah, it is. The airport is also over here. Don't see an airport in every city showcase. Front of it here, let's check out what's going on. It's very busy, isn't it? So over here, we have the tram actually splitting off onto an elevated section as the road comes underneath it. It then drops back down where clearly the stop is. And then they're all walking out onto the airport. Really super busy airport, isn't it? I don't think I've ever seen one that busy before. I guess with 307,000 people. There's probably more people using it naturally, isn't there? But that's really nice. I guess the pedestrians are stopping the traffic a little bit. You could either switch these lanes around, you know, have the express on the outside and the tram on the middle, or an elevated pedestrian pathway using anarchy and turn off the road crossings. You are getting a bit of traffic, but you know, airports are busy, so traffic is realistic in my opinion. Office and car parking space complements the airport. Before I arrive at more medium to high density and low rent up here too. What are these ones? More Chinese. You've used a ton of Chinese high density, haven't you? In fact, I'm even discovering assets I didn't really know about here. There's just there's so many of them in CS2 these days with those region packs. It's hard to keep track of them all. And then that's really what rounds out the city. Little splatterings of high density residential in amongst the low density sprawl. I really like how you've used the this Chinese again, this one. Yeah, your use of Chinese high density might be some of the best I've seen. Your little tower block developments are pretty much across the whole map, especially the one in the downtown. It was those towers there, wasn't it, that were Chinese, yeah. You've really nailed it. I really like how it all comes together. This road over here, again, really fun use of CS2's highway roads here for creating a little junction. Isn't that unique? It's almost kind of like a flat 2D interchange there, isn't it? Very nice. Good inspiration that for some. There's something a bit different with your junctions. Rather than just another T-junction or a roundabout, you can start playing with individual lanes with the highway tools. Very nice. A bit of cut and fill here against another big Southwest elementary school development for our low density kicks in. We've got another little flat interchange here as well, with the tram actually coming through the middle of that one. That bleeds back into that big arterial road where we had the medium density rise over here as well. Which I think pretty much wraps up the city showcase. That was an absolute beast of a mountain, tons, absolute tons of low density residential. You scan around on the satellite view, right? It's just everywhere. A serious sprawl, some nice networking and some really nice use of the Chinese assets in particular in this city. A lot of the high density has been used. Got some more configurable custom roundabouts here as well, in the middle of the countryside. Very nice. Teddy Radko has some wonderful inspiration on these sorts of roundabouts. The way he builds them, he's very good at them. Yeah, check him out if you haven't already. Wonderful creator. And then that's pretty much it. That brings us back to where we started. There's something else out here, which is the Space Launch Center. Again, not an asset we see overly often, but it really is out here on its own, isn't it? So maybe a bit of an afterthought build there. But an absolute behemoth of a city at 307,000 population with some nice ideas here, especially with your networks, the flat interchanges, the use of Chinese high density I really enjoyed. And those bridges absolutely dominate the map, don't they? They're so big, and a really fun way to use them, especially with that free update bridge from the delayed bridges and ports update. I've never seen anyone use that bridge like that before. Massive shout out to the YouTube members and patrons that support these videos, with a roll call to our Golden Egg patrons, Bad Wolf, Casino, Great C, Jamin, Louis Adlam, Michael W, Phoenix MD, and Spartan Angel. If you want to get involved in any of that, links are down below to Patreon Instant Gaming, and don't forget the link is also below to the Google form if you would like to have your work featured here. I always love seeing the unmodded CS2 cities. Obviously modded CS2 can be a totally different beast. There's so many things you can do, but when you don't have those tools available and you have maybe just a few limited mods like plot the growables so you can select which assets you want, it really is fun seeing what people can come up with in what is admittedly can be quite a restrictive engine, especially with the anarchy collisions and whatnot. Otherwise, enjoy the cinematics. I'll shut up and leave it there. Let's thank you all so much for watching, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.